Well, happening now, crews are working to remove large pieces of the American Airlines flight involved in Wednesday's crash. It comes 5 days after the mid-air collision that killed 67 people in total. And this is a live look here at one of the cranes.
And Annalisa, search teams have recovered 55 bodies so far, with the wreckage removal expected to last 3 days.
We have team coverage tonight. DC News Now's Liberty Simmons is learning more about the victims.
But first, we head to DC News Now's Randy Bash. He was at the news conference a little while ago with the Unified Command on recovery efforts. Randy, what can you tell us?
Yes, officials today describing their operations as a significant step forward in both the recovery and salvage underway here along the Potomac River, as very large pieces of that American Airlines jet were removed from the Potomac River today. Today, we got an even closer look at what is left now of Flight 5342. Salvage crews removing massive pieces of that regional jet, including the fuselage, that is the main body of the plane, one of the plane's engines, and one of the plane's wings. All of those important pieces of the investigation into what happened in the moments before that mid-air collision and the ongoing effort to recover victims lost in the crash. No major updates, though, in terms of the recovery of victims, though they did say additional remains were recovered today. Officials saying, again, at least 55 sets of human remains had been identified so far, saying they believe the rest of the remains are still within the aircraft or very close to the aircraft in the river. Today, the effort to recover those victims was described as both painstaking and tragic.
We've had peer support in place since the first hours of the incident to help provide that additional help that they need, and we will continue with that throughout the rest of their careers if necessary to provide them that support. But I mean, it is tragic, and everything imaginable that you can think of, right? That is what they're dealing with day in and day out.
And those crews will be back at it again tomorrow. As for what comes next in this operation, the plan is to begin removing the cockpit from the river tomorrow. That is, though, if weather conditions like tidal movements and potentially strong winds allow for that to happen. They expect to be finished with the recovery and removal efforts by early this weekend. The NTSB, though, leading the investigation into what happened in the moments leading up to that mid-air collision. We have not heard from them since Saturday. We are expecting another briefing tomorrow. At Reagan National Airport, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.